Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our videos where we are making videos on animal kingdom. We have discussed all the previous phylums, many phylums, and in the last video we have discussed about echinoderms. In this we are going to talk about hemichordates and then we'll start with chordates. Hemichordates, first of all, hemichordates earlier it was considered under chordates because it was said to have a notochord which resembled the spinal cord. But now it's found, the recent studies have found that though that is not a notochord, it's known as stomochord. It's just an extension of buccal cavity. It's not exactly a notochord. So we'll be talking about it. So it is not considered under chordates now. It is considered as half chordates or pre-chordates, plus now it's a separate phylum under non-chordates because it has characteristics of both. So I'll write here, it's known as half chordates or also known as pre-chordates. Now we'll be talking about the example of hemichordata and then we'll discuss taking that example because that's the most important part. Other characteristics mostly remain common as that of chordates and echinoderms. That's why it's known as connecting link also. So the example of chordates is Balanoglossus. Balanoglossus is the example which is also known as tongue worm. Now tongue worm word is there, so that means it has a worm like shape. We'll draw its structure also and simultaneously I'll explain also. Now the first and foremost character, it is worm. It has a worm like body. It is burrowing organism and basically it is found in a U-shaped burrows. Found. It is a burrowing organism. It is mostly found in U-shaped burrows. That is the Balanoglossus. Then its body is divided into three main regions, and the first one is the upper part, that's the proboscis. Then the next part is the collar and it has a trunk. We'll discuss about them now. Now if we see the structure or if we make the structure, it has this part. I'll make it here so that I can. That's the proboscis. It has this structure here, the collar, and then it has the rest of the body. Does not have a tail. At the end it has anus. Fine, so it does not have a tail present here. Herein it has these extended flap like structures. Fine, so this is the structure of a Balanoglossus. This is the first region, proboscis. Now I'll write the main parts here in the diagram itself. So proboscis, it has this region, it has two parts. It has mouth and it has proboscis gland. Fine. Then we have the next region, that is the collar. Collar is the most important part because it has the most important structure, that is the stomochord. It has the stomochord. I'll write about stomochord here because it's something important. I'll write about here. Stomochord is not a notochord. It is, first of all, it's not a notochord. Then it is an extension of buccal cavity called buccal diverticulum. Fine. So this is stomochord, a very important feature of melanoglossus, not a notochord, just a little notochord you can say, extension of buccal cavity which is there in the collar region, which is known as buccal diverticulum. Fine. So it has the collar region has stomochord present in it, which is an extension of buccal cavity. Fine. Then we have the next region. I'll be needing this space. Extension of, I'll write short form here, buccal cavity, not notochord. Fine. So herein, this trunk region, this is the trunk region which is divided into three regions. The upper region is the branchial and genital region. That means it's branchial as it has gills present. It is genital because it has gonads or the genitals present here in this portion. The next part is the hepatic region. The next region is abdominal region, and then we have the anus. It has no tail. I'll write here, no tail present. There is no tail. The last portion or the last region is the anus. Fine. So this is the structure of melanoglossus with the different parts and their labelings and functions. Then we have the type of respiration taking place here, that is branchial, because of gills present here. So the respiration which takes place in melanoglossus is branchial respiration because of the gills present. It is unisexual. It is unisexual, has only, it can be male and or a female. So it is unisexual. Then I'll write here, the fertilization is external, but development is indirect. That means it has a larval stage, and the larva which is formed here is known as Tornaria larva. I'll write it here, Tornaria larva is formed. Now after this, it has one very important significant feature. I'll make a separate place here for that. It is also known as a connecting link. It is a connecting link. Now it is connecting link between echinoderm and chordata. And which is the feature which is it shares between both? That is, it is a deuterostome. That means the blastopore forms the anus here in melanoglossus also. So it is a connecting link between echinoderms and chordates, and the feature which is common between both, that is that they are also deuterostomes. That is, the blastopore forms the anus in case of melanoglossus also. Now in short, if I talk about the circulatory system, it has a proper open circulatory system, but still it has blood vessels, proper tubes formed in the body. Still the blood flows. In open circulatory system, blood flows in sinuses, but herein the fluid flows out of the blood vessels in the regions known as lacuna. Fine. So this is something related to circulatory system, has an open circulatory system only. So in this video, we have discussed about the example melanoglossus, its characteristic feature, body divisions, the regions which are found in the different parts of the body regions, talked about stomochord and its important feature, that it's a connecting link between echinoderms and chordates. and which is the character which is common in both? That is, it is deuterostomes. So in our next video, we'll start chordates, and according to your syllabus we'll talk about the different classes in the chordates as well. So keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you.